Hi Year 7, I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Following on from some feedback that we've had with the home learning, lots of students have found it much easier to follow lessons that their teachers have recorded, and so I hope that works for you too. We're going to continue with our work on the Cornish journey writing that we're building up towards, and our big question for today is, how can I apply my knowledge of descriptive writing? What that means is we're going to draw together everything that we've learnt so far and start to plan our longer extended piece of writing that we're going to complete after Easter. So, as usual, your lesson's going to begin with a daily review, which means that you're going to have a look back at some things that you've learnt before that might be useful for this lesson. So, in your books, I'd like you just to write down your answers to the following questions. They don't have to be in full sentences. Number 1, name one thing that you can do to upgrade a sentence. Number 2, what does the adjective ominous mean? Number 3, how could you imply that a character is nervous? So think back to your implying emotion sheet from last lesson and just try and think about what a person might do if they were nervous, the actions of a character that you could describe that would show rather than tell your reader that that character is nervous. And then question 4, use the verb emanate in a sentence. It could perhaps be a sentence about today's weather. Pause the video and use sort of 2 or 3 minutes just to quickly record your answers to those questions. Okay, so we're going to move on with our vocabulary builder, which is also something you should all be really familiar with from English lessons in school as well. For this, just write down the word, the definition, and then complete the task. So our word today is cacophony. It means a mixture of sounds, usually harsh sounds, all at the same time together. An example of this is a cacophony of alarm bells. So if you just take a moment to think about what that would actually sound like, that would be quite a harsh, kind of overpowering sound. Your task then, I'd like you just to close your eyes and really focus on all of the sounds that you can hear at the moment. And try and write into a sentence. For example, I heard a cacophony of, and then think of all of the different noises that might be mixing around you at the moment. And pause the video, give yourself a couple of minutes to do this, no more than sort of 3 minutes. Okay? So, now that we've done our daily review and our vocab builder, it's time for a quick progress check. So far, you have hopefully been able to access and complete 3 lessons building towards your Cornish journey work. So far, we should have learnt that descriptive writers describe the weather to create a particular atmosphere. That was your description of the tree. You used that glossary of different emotions that could be applied through weather, etc. And we've learnt that good writers upgrade their sentences, so the writing is full of variety. So thinking about how you vary the structure of each of your sentences is really, really important in terms of becoming a successful writer. So that's the things like the triple verb sentences that you might have practiced, the not only but also sentences, which you might be familiar with from other lessons in school as well. And then finally, we've learnt how writers imply rather than communicate emotions, so how they show us and don't tell us what the person or the character is feeling. This lesson we're going to start to think about applying all of this, or preparing to apply this, to use these skills more independently in your own piece of writing. So far our Cornish journey has been quite a bleak one. We've looked at a bare tree with lots of clouds and grey sky around it. We've looked at a quite windy scene on a beach, but we all know that Cornwall is not like that on a sunny day. Cornwall can be really, really beautiful and really lovely. So our Cornish journey is going to end in one of Cornwall's many beauty spots. You get a complete choice over this one, so you can either find a photograph of your own from online, or maybe a photograph that you've taken when you visited a certain area of Cornwall, or you can use one of these 2 images. Okay, so just take a little bit of time to either get a photo that you've got or download one from Google Images, or just to decide which of these two images you think you'd like to describe as the final point in your Cornish journey. So if you pause the video, get the image that you need ready for the next activity. Okay, so our final task for today is just to get ready to describe the image that you're going to use for your last stop on your Cornish journey. So a really good way to go into description is to think about all of the senses to help you do some sensory writing. So have a look at your image and think about what you might see. List a few things that you might see in your image. This can be big things, it could be a small thing that you might want to zoom into from your image. Now this one takes some imagination, but think about what you might smell if you placed in that image. What would you smell around you? What would you hear? What would you taste? And what would you feel? By that, it could be things that you might touch with your hands. It could be how you might feel in the atmosphere, so like the weather, how that might make you feel, hot or cold or anything like that. Okay? So this ends our lesson for today. Next lesson, which will be after the Easter break, will basically bring together everything that we've learned, and you're going to write a more extended description of your journey through Cornwall. I do hope that you have a lovely 2 weeks. There are some suggestions on the Show My Homework of different activities that can keep you busy over the time as well. Okay, thank you for listening.